Coming out of The Mandalorian Season 3, we have all witnessed the fan division and the fan backlash against the latest season, and a lot of that had to do, by the way, with Kathleen Kennedy interfering with the writing of the script by Jon and Dave, her really intervening with some of the decisions that they wanted to do, and exactly what really happened in between. Now, we do know that there was a lot of footage that was shot that ended up getting deleted from this season, as well as a lot of other aspects that never even got to be filmed or enter into principal photography. But moving on to what's really significant here has a lot to do with what Pedro Pascal had to say about something very specific that's very unveiling. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and without wasting any time, let's get right into this. Now, we know that Pedro Pascal has been having a little bit of a tough time with Kathleen Kennedy after getting fired from Skeleton Crew as Din Djarin, and I say specifically only from that show. He was not fired in the general sense. We've talked about this many times, and how Kathleen Kennedy had a lot of different reasons about doing that and giving the okay on that decision. Now, moving to what Pedro had to say, we do know that he's been a lot more revealing recently toward the Star Wars fandom, really kind of laying down the truth about what happened by Kathleen Kennedy to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and why it created the backlash that we saw by fans with The Mandalorian Season 3 and beyond. Now, with actor Pedro Pascal now preparing for his role in Mando Season 4, however, in a recent interview that Pedro was able to provide, he unveiled new truths about The Mandalorian Season 3. Pedro went on to state the following: "Well, what I can say is the main reason why Kathy did not want Morrison involved was to return as Boba Fett, is that she felt that fans were not ready for him to return after the Book of Boba Fett fan criticism, and she wanted to take a break from that character. This was a last-minute decision, as we had a lot of scenes of him written in the finale, and it really made everyone's schedule difficult, because I know Jon and Dave had to spend extra time rewriting the entire final episode. This delayed the overall season. This delayed our original release date too, that was supposed to be sometime by the end of 2022. But yeah, Boba Fett was going to be the big character at the very end, and was really going to be the Boba Fett character that fans wanted in his show. Kathy just felt it wasn't his time, and that she also did not want to make Boba Fett into a violent character. She wanted to keep him as a calm and reserved character, like how he was instructed in, of course, the Book of Boba, what she told Jon and Dave to do in that series, with him in his own show." Let me just say one thing here about what Pedro is saying, is that basically what Kathleen Kennedy gets down to is that she did not want to fulfill the Boba Fett that fans actually know and love from Legends, from the canon comics and the books, and let alone from how he is in the overall original trilogy. Now, look, a lot of fans may love the Book of Boba Fett, just as an entertaining show, but let's be real, Boba Fett that we got in the Book of Boba was not the true character in the sense that George Lucas wrote, and the actual stories that George gave the okay on when it came to Star Wars Legends. Boba Fett was a ruthless, violent bounty hunter, alright? And he was not like how he was portrayed in the series. Now, I get it, you want to humanize the character, fine, in maybe one episode or two, that's okay. If you want to give us a different side of him, I guess fine, right? But the entire show was like that. We never really got the Boba that we deserved. Bounty hunting, taking people in for rewards, and just doing business. That's what we needed. That's what the Boba Fett, what fans wanted to see. And that's what Kathleen Kennedy eventually denied and refused to do in Mando Season 3, and was one of the major factors why she ended up writing this out of the script, because Jon and Dave were about to give us the Boba Fett that we love in Mando Season 3, working with Fennec Shand and just taking out those, what I like to call, Mando troopers, because they got that Beskar armor. Now, moving on to the next thing here. This is where things begin to get a little bit complex, alright? Now, on top of that, Pedro goes on to elaborate, "I know Morrison did not like this at all, and was never in support of that vision. We also had an entire scene written where Boba Fett was going to actually come to Bo-Katan and Din's aid, where he caught the Darksaber from falling over the edge and threw it back to Bo-Katan. Originally, Jon and Dave had wanted Boba Fett to wield the Darksaber for a couple of seconds in the fight, but Kathy insisted that was too unrealistic for his character and steered clear from that before Fett was written out of the show completely. Let me just say one thing about that. That actually sounds like it could have been amazing visually speaking. I don't see the problem with that. I don't know why Kathleen Kennedy felt the need to delete that first before she got rid of him overall. Look, it's not like he's fighting with the Darksaber or anything. He's just kind of like picking it up, igniting it, and then throwing it to Bo-Katan. Maybe it doesn't work, who knows. It kind of reminds you of what they did in The Last Jedi, I guess, between, Rey and Kylo with the Praetorian Guards, but whatever, right? I mean, it would have been visually stunning in my opinion. But anyways, this just goes to show you that Kathleen Kennedy likes to divert from anything visually impressive and visually impressive content that actually matches the storytelling is what she always lacks to actually, execute in these stories. So, moving on to the next thing here, he goes on to conclude, we also were going to have Ahsoka Tano come in and fight Gideon to really set things up for the Ahsoka series, and Kathy felt that, too, needed to be removed immediately after we partially filmed that scene with Rosario Dawson. So she was a little let down over that harsh decision. Again, they were going to set up things for the Ahsoka series, and it would have been a nice, smooth transition. It would have also been, advertising for the next show. It would have really kind of gotten more fans to know that there is an Ahsoka show coming out. There's a lot of people that I know personally that are just casual fans that really know nothing about the Ahsoka series. They don't know when it's coming out. They don't know that it even exists. There's a lot of fans that are just really out of the loop with that, So it's interesting that they did not want to promote Ahsoka like how they promoted the Book of Boba in Mando. It worked. It got fans to know that it's coming way, way before a trailer or even a TV spot debuted. It's great advertising, and they missed that opportunity. But anyways, like I say, this is the thing that really just comes to mind, is that Pedro really kind of points out multiple things here, that Kathleen Kennedy just does not like Jon and Dave's vision, and really just tried to sabotage Mando Season 3 in the worst way possible. And I think that's why it is a sharp decline in comparison to Season 2. The reason being is that Season 2, Kathy wasn't as involved with that one in particular because she wanted to give Jon and Dave at the time to introduce those fan-favorite characters and to make them grow properly, like Luke, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, all these big-time cameos, and to really kind of just introduce a lot of Rebels-oriented characters into live action. So, with Mando Season 3, it seems as though that she wanted to just do something of her own and not care about what Jon and Dave wanted to do to really kind of expand what they did in Mando Season 2. So anyways, there's a lot of things about this that I would like to hear what you guys have to say about, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.